take a deep breath. It's Gemini season, at least until June 21st. And Gemini rules talking, the lungs, and the nervous system. So all of us will, have to work on protecting those zones in different ways. And if you're new to my channel, thanks for watching. We're going to be talking about the June energy forecast with the cards and stars. My name is Trina. I'm your intuitive guide with a chakra vibe, helping you navigate life's energies. Well, speaking of Gemini, we have Uranus, the planet of unexpected stuff. Can be electricity and stuff with the ground, like earthquakes and things, and all these things that just moved into Gemini. Lots of stuff about propaganda and lots of data out there, lots of information overload, we'll say. And so Uranus is in Gemini, so we'll get that for 7 years or so. And last time Uranus was in Gemini was during the World War II era. So there can be some commonalities about what happened then to what's happening now. Saturn and Neptune, both big planets as well, are kind of fresh still in Aries for a few years. So that'll be interesting. Pluto and Aquarius. Man, it seems like the past couple of years, 2025, 2026, we've had a lot of changes in the cosmos. Big planets making big transits. June here is the last month as Jupiter's, in tropical astrology anyways, moving through Cancer. Loves being there. Jupiter loves Cancer. It's exalted there. It's very welcome there in Cancer. And it can do a lot of things there in Cancer. But it's finishing its journey and then moving into Leo at the end of June. So that's a big transit too. So right now we're having a lot of real estate and home and family and things like that. Our parents and ancestor stuff happening here. And then starting in July, Jupiter moves into Leo. So extra hot, fiery. I talked about this in my 2026 general predictions forecast too. So we'll see. Jupiter expands things, and Leo is a lot about our leaders and, whose hat is bigger than yours. Switch the word hat for something else, if you know what I mean. So we'll see what happens. I feel like there's going to be some big explosions in economy and things like that happening in July. So I think it's a good idea to start getting prepared in certain ways for what's to come. Some people are saying, it could be a big depression. I don't know, right? I do know that it's good to prepare because something is happening definitely in world economics because of the fact that the United States debt, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, just too much to even pay for the interest payments now. So something's got to give. And I made a video about that too. CBDCs are coming. So check that one out too when you get a chance. All right. This is a month of nervous system recalibration. Okay. Deep breathing. Good for that third house Gemini. Okay. The sun moving through Gemini. And then on the 21st, it moves into Cancer. So we'll be feeling a little more security-oriented house, growing your own food, pets, family, real estate issues, and things like that. Could be the start of that real estate crash that I foresee as well. I already can see a little bit of hints at it with the mortgage rates in Canada going up, or I should say a lot of people are defaulting on their mortgages now. So it's something to look out for. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way, but just saying there's a little bit of clues and hints here of what's to come. And as usual, real things that I can hold, right? Maybe some gold, maybe some silver, maybe some food to barter with, to trade with, extra food, things like that, supplies, learning new skills. Gemini, by the way, which is most of June, that season of Gemini, really loves to learn a new skill with the hands. Yes, there's changing timelines for sure. A lot of people are talking about how time's moving so fast. Lots about money strategies too. Gemini brings in new ideas and new ways of doing things in communications from your peers and other people. Good to listen to both sides of a story without committing to one choice, because sometimes neither choices are the best one, and there's a third choice that you haven't even thought about yet. So keep things a little open to receiving these downloads, this information, this data, in order to make good decisions here, because there is a big realization now about what actually matters. All right, let's get into the signs. Aries to Pisces, starting with, of course, Aries. Okay, Aries rising, those with their moons in Aries. Well, the sun in Gemini for most of June is hitting your third house. Okay. We started on May 20th. So May 20th to June 21st, third house activation, community, new communities, new learning things. Lots of activity with invitations, social media, texting, emails. It could be too that if you're a salesperson in any way, your sales are going up, or they can go up if you market yourself. Maybe it's time to get new business cards. I would suggest don't focus so much too on the internet all the time. Focus on your actual community and go to the people. Community events will get you a lot of new clients. And it's especially good for them to see you in person, a real human being. Okay. Third house too, is a lot about your lungs and your breathing and your anxiety, your nervous system. So we want to be careful for that. We want to work on the lungs, deep breathing, slowing down, meditation, turning off the Wi-Fi at night. Okay, Aries, you especially being an Aries, you run up here in the head. So having that telephone with the Wi-Fi on right by your head at night, not a good idea. Watch the research studies on that, right? You got to shut it off and, walk barefoot in the grass, go out in nature a little more and things like that, Aries. That's good for you. We do have the full moon on May 31st. Okay, so just before June actually starts, we've got a full moon in Sagittarius hitting your ninth house of something new for you, new horizons. The ninth house is often a life-changing transit in some way. Doesn't have to be super huge life-changing, but something in your life definitely changes. It could be about, especially if you work in the education system in general, whether that's a school, university, college, online learning, anything like that. Definitely some changes going on there. But I'm not surprised if you are have been contemplating a trip overseas and you're kind of done the planning maybe, or thinking about that. But the full moon is a completion phase too. And for you, it could be completing something in the ninth house. So it's run its course. It's at the highest point it can be, right? Full moon. So ninth house matters. Well, that can be about something international, foreign affairs. It could be like I talked about, travel, something with the traveling, planning a trip, going on a trip. Maybe you're just coming back from a trip overnight and things like that. It can be very energy healing kind of house, I find too, the ninth house. Energy healing with the Reiki or the feng shui or something like with the energy fields and healing there. And so maybe you've just discovered something and you're learning about that. For some of you, it's completing an area of study, or you're done. It's graduation time, literally. Ninth house learning. And that's the higher learning, like, graduating from high school, graduating from a program, getting the cap and gown or whatever. And maybe if it has nothing to do with you being a student, it could be about you being the teacher, going into a different avenue of teaching people, Aries. Something different is happening. It is a good time, though, to look at publishing. Maybe you're ready to publish your own oracle deck, ninth house, very publishing kind of vibe. So maybe you're publishing your own tarot deck, oracle card deck, your own music, your own art, and really focusing on that, Aries. That looks good. I like to see what Mars is doing for you, Aries, because Mars is your ruling planet. Hot, fiery Mars in your second house of money. So yeah, there is something you're thinking about this month here in June, all about your income. Could be about secondary sources of income. And it could be changing jobs or moving across the pond for a new job or new money opportunities. I'm also feeling something about looking over your investment portfolios, your retirement portfolios, and making new allocations, reallocating that, due to the fact that there will be a big crash coming, towards I'd say August, October. So something to look at to your portfolio if you are an investor. I'm not a financial advisor, Aries, but I would suggest allocating some to physical assets, tangible things like real estate, like heavy metals, precious metals that you can hold in your hand. One of the guys I watch online, he was talking about it would be good for everybody to have about 20 ounces of silver pieces per person. And in the case of the internet, money gets shut off. You can't get into your bank account. You at least you'll have silver pieces to trade with and to buy things with as well. So something to take into account for. But that third house activation for you, Aries, is bringing you new ideas for sure. Okay, so let's pull a card from the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org. All right, Aries. See, options. Third house has a lot of options. It's a junk drawer of the zodiac. Always something new in the third house, whether it's new vehicles or making short trips or stuff with your siblings and community and neighbors and all sorts of things. But there's this could be a road trip in a way too. But the crossroad in Lenormand, it means having these options, and sometimes it's difficult to make a choice. Okay, so go with your intuition, gather the data you need. I wouldn't jump into making decisions, the big ones, too quickly. All right, take some time to really gather the data, because the Gemini season for you is a lot about learning. Okay, now let's see what I wrote for number 22, the crossroad for you, Aries. Diversification. See, we talked about that too with your investments, right? And then a difficult choice, multiple things, new alternatives for you. There could be something new happening for you, and it's life-changing in a way in your direction. Could be too about thinking of passive ways of income, because that second house with Mars and Taurus activated is your money and your resources. So sometimes it can mean diversifying your ways of earning income too. So think about that. Come see me for a reading or a session with me. And also, the affirmation for this card is I trust in myself to choose the right path. Okay, Aries. Frankincense and lavender, very good for this card. And moonstone, like my one I'm wearing right now. All right, moonstone. Black tourmaline can help ground you as well, in smoky quartz during these decision times, and a lot of stuff happening in the third house, lots of data, lots of head stuff, because Gemini itself is an air sign and you're a fire sign, so you're heating up that air like a balloon, like helium, you know what I mean, where it's like there's just a lot in the air and a lot of data, a lot of stuff important for you to watch for that. Watch for your nervous system, and lots of deep breathing and grounding can help. Thanks, Aries. Taurus rising, those with their moons in Taurus. All right, so we've got a lot of money activity for you in June. Second house activation with Gemini there, Gemini sun. And so the second house is your money, your resources, what's going in your mouth. You're feeling extra security. You kind of rule the second house anyways, Taurus. So this is kind of a lot about feeling secure and well-fed, good food, resources, stability. And Mars is in Taurus too for the whole month, which Mars is giving you the drive about your ambition, your value in life, right? And because Mars is in Taurus, that activates your first house of the self and the physical body. I think, Taurus, that you're going to feel a little more stronger, active, able to do more when it comes to activities and physical activities, I should say. And so that'll be fun. It's an excellent month too for you, Taurus, to ask for a raise at work, to raise your own prices if you have your own business, creating beautiful, luxurious offers in your business as an entrepreneur. Okay. Good idea too, Taurus, to invest in equipment. Now, when I say equipment, I mean invest and buy things that are not a liability, but are more of an asset that can create cash flow. You are on the 2-8 line, which is a money line, looking at your debts, looking at the 8, because we have the full moon on May 31st, which is in your 8th house. Sagittarius full moon in your 8th house, which is another money house, right? So you're on the Gemini sun too, and the Sagittarius full moon 8. That's a money line. So, June a lot is about your worth, your values, your long-term wealth, looking at your debts, looking at your finances in a new way. Okay. I wanted to talk too about Venus going into Leo later this month, and that happens on June 13th. For you, Taurus, that's making your relationships a little more dramatic, a little more passionate. And so some Taurians might desire more romance, more excitement, or just some more appreciation in your life. Okay. This is all about you want to speak your needs clearly with that Gemini sun throughout the month for you. Gemini likes to talk. It's in here. Speaking your needs clearly. And, the second house where the sun is moving through has a lot to do with your throat and what's going in your mouth too. I wanted to mention that for you, Taurus. Don't forget to using food, learning about food as medicine. not eating the processed foods, and growing your own things, and enjoying cooking your own home cooked meals with things that grow in your yard. Right now I'm creating a dandelion tincture right now. It's setting right now in my big jar. So I can't wait for that, because dandelion has a lot to do with wellness of the liver and wellness of the kidneys and so many more things. Just look up the healing powers of dandelion, right? If they say it's a weed, it's probably good for you. All right, next, Taurus, for you, we want to make sure we watch your thyroid, your throat, and your speech for the month of June. And for you, Taurus, the health stuff, or health and wellness, excellent month to focus on strength training, and you'll have some more power to lift well and to, turn fat into muscle. Gardening and grounding, getting your minerals in, okay? Those minerals, the magnesium, all the things, okay? Shilajit, it's a thing. Go to your health store and ask about it. Shilajit, okay? And nervous system regulation. Your body, Taurus, wants stability. All right, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, available on my website, www.themoontree.org. You just need an extra essential oil spray. Very good for you, Taurus, too. Make your own essential oil sprays at home. Some people use alcohol in their sprays, but I just use water and it's fine. Okay, just wanted to put that out there. But I also have a really good bottle. I think the bottle makes a big difference in... Anyways, I digress. This is for you, Taurus. In June, Gemini season, there is an obstacle with the mountain. Okay, so we do have an obstacle. What could that be? Okay, so you do have that full moon in the 8th house on May 31st, which could be bringing you delays in up-leveling or thinking about your value, your self-worth. Maybe you've been working on this for a while and it just feels like it's really slow moving. Sometimes the mountain just feels really slow. Let's see what I wrote about the mountain. Number 21. Obstacles, a delay, challenges that slow you down, negative beliefs, but sometimes it can actually be the mountains in nature can uplift you, if you know what I mean. Smoky quartz, Shanghai, sodalite, labradorite, all these things can help you as well. And cedarwood, sage, patchouli, basil, and lavender in your spray. I would just put all of them. Sure, why not? And this is ruled by Saturn, which can bring restrictions and delays. It's only because they want, the universe wants you to do it right. All right. And sometimes we have to be delayed in order to do it right. Okay. It takes some time. And the playing card, by the way, is the 8 of clubs, which I told you, Taurus, you have that full moon in your 8th house. So 8 is a big number. And 8 is the number of getting out of any feedback loops, those same patterns, having the power to rise like the phoenix rising, okay? Out of these old patterns, old belief systems, old ways, okay? So that looks good for you, It's not a bad thing. The affirmation for this, I choose to live my best life. Okay, Taurus? I can overcome any obstacles with ease. So I think the main thing here is to focus on your power, your strength. Okay, Taurus, and doing things like gardening, growing your own food, strength training, learning how to do 10 push-ups, right? And also just protein, nervous system regulation, that kind of thing can really help you. Remember, your body wants stability. Thanks, Taurus. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, Gemini rising. Those with their moons in Gemini. Well, this is your season. It's Gemini season. So you got a lot of first house activations in your chart. And a lot of relationship stuff too. So your body, your relationships, and physical stuff too. Feels kind of like a new chapter for you, Gemini, especially with Uranus and Gemini that happened just in April, right? And that's for like the next 7 years. One of them big transits that lasts a really long time. This is a massive new cycle for you, Gemini, and your ideas are becoming valuable. This month, though, rewards media, journalism, social media, things like that, speaking, writing, YouTube, all that kind of stuff too. Live streams, AI stuff, technology, marketing, and networking. And, we do have a a new moon, new beginnings again in Gemini. So again, happening for you June 14th, new moon in Gemini. And this is really powerful for launching. If you're a soulpreneur, an entrepreneur, launching a new thing, and maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but you want to launch this new idea that's been, June 14th that week, very good for launching. So good stuff. I think when it comes to love, Gemini, people are attracted to your mind right now, okay? And so you may suddenly reconnect with someone. You might flirt more, or in your relationships, you might crave more intellectual conversation. Okay, lots about the mind. And we just want to avoid mixed signals, right? Set boundaries and things like that. Because we do have that full moon on May 31st. So right at the beginning of June, things are in your 7th house of contracts, commitments. Full moon likes to complete or end something. So it could be that some of you are ending the boyfriend-girlfriend stage and moving on up to the next stage, whatever that means for you, right? Some of you may be getting literally married, or they can go the other way around too, because once you get to that 7th house, you decide, what do I want to do with this relationship? Do I want to take it to the next level? Do I want to go, or do I want to leave it, right? So sometimes under 7th house activations, under the full moon, you may decide to end a contract or commitment. And yes, that can be with a person, can be love-based, can be career-based, business, ending a job, or it could just be ending certain subscriptions that you no longer use. And that's a good idea, by the way, Gemini, to go through all the subscriptions that you pay for monthly, and you may have forgotten about some that you're still being charged for. So look all on your credit card statements, all on your debit card statements for the whole month of last month, and make sure that there's nothing sneaky being in there. And you may decide, do I still want my Sirius satellite radio subscription anymore? I don't really use it. I use the radio more often anyways. I don't know, right? So that's something that can be coming up for you, Gemini, as well. When it comes to wellness, okay, so you are Gemini in the head area for June. The headaches, watch for stress headaches, right? Inflammation in the brain, the skull, meaning due to maybe too much stress or tiredness, right? Go too much can lead to overexhaustion, anxiety, scattered energy. That's a big thing too. Insomnia can happen for you, Gemini, here in June. Nervous system overload is what I want to call it, okay? Magnesium is going to be so good for you. Oh my gosh. And I don't mean the ones that you ingest. I mean that magnesium lotion that you get from your local naturopath store or alternative health store. It's a gel, it's a lotion, it's magnesium. And to go even further to that, I would suggest to you every day or every second day, having a baking soda bath or adding different things. I like to use sometimes a cleansing borax bath. It cleanses a bunch of stuff that's inside of you. And but generally I really like baking soda mixed with some essential oils, mixed with some Dead Sea salts and some magnesium flakes, or some Epsom salts as well. Kind of this mix of the minerals mixed with the salts that cleanse and pull out the impurities, and then they go down the drain. And I spray myself all the time with my essential oil blend, my homemade one with a crystal inside. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyways, Gemini, I just want to let you know your mind may be moving too fast here in June, and you'll need the sleep, the magnesium, less multitasking, all right? And you want to set yourself some boundaries, especially when it comes to digital stuff, right? But having your phone next to your head at night is not a good idea, especially you being under this influence of your head, brain, and skull for the month, okay? So, Gemini, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org, if you're interested. Yes, I knocked 3 times to knock away that energy from my last person, who was Taurus. And so for Gemini, we've got the public, lots of public recognition. And yes, of course you are, Gemini. You're Gemini season. You're the popular one. Everybody's looking at what's Gemini going to do next. So yes, there's a lot of public stuff. The reason I call it the Garden card in Lenormand is because in the olden days, we didn't have social media, and they would get together in the garden with tea and things, get together and socialize. Okay, that's how they got their gossip, the community gossip and all that kind of stuff, right? They would go to the garden. So that's something interesting too. I do think that because a lot of ones in your chart is your physical body, the avatar, this meat suit that you live in, Gemini, the garden can literally mean nourishing yourself with fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, things that grow in the ground to nourish the physical body. And that in turn will help ground yourself, relieve anxiety, and cleanse the toxins and the heavy metals out of your body and the parasites and all the ickies, right? We talked about the baths. So that's something too with the garden card too. Okay. I think with this card too, the public, we just want to have some boundaries too, digital boundaries. Because this is about social activities, groups, and friends. I mean, it can be a good thing. It's just that we want to set some, not feeling overwhelmed. For some of you, this can mean taking a class too. And lots about nature sometimes when we get the garden card too. So nature can help relieve the anxiety. Walking barefoot in the ground, very important for you, Gemini, here in June. Smoky quartz to carry around. Petrified wood, garnet, carnelian, and rose quartz. Those are all gemstones you can use for healing in June as well and protection. Essential oils are frankincense, rose oil, and lavender. So mark those down. And also this is the immune system. And the immune system is actually the lymph nodes though. Like when we say immune system, that's actually how flowing and is your lymph nodes, right? Detoxification. And so those baths I talked to you and movement of the body can help get the lymph node, hence your immune system, activated as well. So something interesting there about the garden. Your affirmation, Gemini, is I choose peace and harmony with an open heart full of love and joy. So thanks, Gemini. Come see me for a reading, www.themoontree.org, or to buy the cards or learn more about the cards. All right, Cancer rising, those with their moons in Cancer. I always say this every time, but like me, because I'm a Cancer rising and a Cancer moon. So I totally vibe with the Cancer. And, you know, May 20th to June 21st is Gemini season, and that's activating our 12th house. And yes, the 12th house is very intuitive and very psychic. So that's happening, but it can also lead to insomnia. So those sleepless nights, and it can lead to a little bit of depression on some days or some irritation too. So it's okay. It'll pass. Have a nap, do some meditation, deep breathing, whatever, because you know, your subconscious is being activated too. So hypnotherapy at night and through the YouTube or something like that. Or just some stress and lymph node, which is the fluid in your body that carries away the yucky stuff, right? And so getting your lymph nodes, I like to rub under my armpits, that's those spots there. Get it going, exercise, moving your body. That's going to help a lot for this 12th house activation. Okay. But Jupiter is still in Cancer. Yay. Loves being there until the end of June. So enjoy this month. Enjoy the last blessings, okay, of Jupiter in Cancer for us. And this is expansion energy. So opportunities can come through home businesses. If you've been planning on starting a side gig or something like that, yes, do that. It can come through real estate in general. So beautifying your home, buying or selling property, creating that Airbnb thing you've always wanted to do and things like that. It can be lots about nurturing roles too, nurturing the family, the pets, the children. Don't forget to nurture yourself, especially with 12th house activation with the sun in Gemini, okay, Cancer, but nurturing, okay, nurturing and healing. Could be family businesses too, not just home business. Something with the family business could be coming for you. Lots about food, the good nourishing foods, nice grounding fruits and vegetables. I would choose the ones that grow under the ground a little more, like the carrots, the beets. Beets is coming to me, very good one for us in June. Anything growing under the ground, onions, garlic, like things like that can be very good. Potatoes, okay? And so there could be some action here in June about that, but it's also a lot about emotional connection with Jupiter in Cancer too. So connecting with yourself, your higher self, or the kid in you, and connections with family members as well too. It could be time to reconnect with certain family members as well that maybe you've had a falling out with. So this is a beautiful month for you, Cancer, to ask what feels emotionally aligned and stable. All right. Now we do get for you, Cancer, the full moon on May 31st. So June starts off already with this full moon in Sagittarius in our 6th house of the general routines, the daily life. So it could be good to have like certain routines, like waking up, and having a good sleep, going like set bedtimes, okay, and then waking up and then having like a little bit of a routine. Maybe it's like, thank you, universe. You start your thank yous, and then you start maybe some kind of swimming. Maybe you're going to get ready to go to swimming, or some qigong, or some stretching would be just simple to start off the day, right? And then start it into your routine, having a nice jasmine tea in the morning, and things like that. Like the daily life, we want to make it more nurturing and in enjoying the little things in life. Okay, this is important for June. Sixth house can also mean something coming to a culmination in your work. Maybe something's ending, or moving a different direction when it comes to your workplace. But there's a lot of action on your health. Okay, the whole month is an activation on your health, and I do think the lymph nodes, the immune system, and the stress, those kind of things can be very good. And because the feet are involved in here, Cancer, I would look into the acupressure and massaging certain points of your feet for healing, right? Acupressure on the feet can be very good, or just getting a nice foot massage, right? And things like that. And working with the feet, Cancer, can be very good. Maybe it's just a case of caring for your feet a little more, like the calluses and whatever, and doing your toenails. That can give you a boost, and things like that. There could be stuff too about stuff at work. I would say people could be irritated and maybe gossipy. Don't get involved in any of the gossip, because it's going to bite your butt later, Cancer. So stay away from the gossip and just do your work, do your own thing, and nurture your workspace. Maybe add a few essential oils, a little vaporizer, right? Essential oil diffuser at your desk, something nice, and maybe a picture frame of like a picture in a frame of something you really love, things that nurture your soul at work and at home. And how can we make our daily life a little more efficient and nice, okay, and less stressed? When it comes to your business too, maybe you could get AI to do some of the things you don't like to do, like helping you generate a first draft of a newsletter, and then you put your own words and spin and vibe on it, things like that, like doing things that you don't like to do. It's all about efficiency to relieve stress in your life in some way. Okay. Now, love stuff. Your heart is opening here in June. Okay. Some of you may deepen your relationships, and some of you may finally release that emotional baggage. Mercury's in Cancer, Venus is in Cancer until June 13th. That's a lot about you, the first house of the self. Lots about your body, your feelings, it's relationships. There's a seriousness too, like what is, emotionally aligned with me at this time, and all the things. What's sustainable for me now? I think that too, you're just becoming more magnetic by being you. You're more authentic you. Like, I hate when people have your authentic self. Like, that's annoying. But in the way that you don't have to hide, just be yourself. That's what's going to sort of bring in more clients or more bonuses in your life, or just good vibes, is to be your emotion, like what really vibes with you emotionally, right? And when it comes to your wellness, we talked about your subconscious and the stress and the lymph nodes and the immune system. We talked about all that already, but it's also too about emotional regulation, right? Emotional regulation, and a lot about the gut health, looking into fermented foods. The gut health can be very good. Leaky gut syndrome, look that up later, okay? Learn all you can about gut health, because it's the gut and the heart and the brain are all connected. And so working on the gut health can be very good for you in June as well. And of course, reducing the stress eating. Instead of eating for stress, how about we eat for medicine and for fuel, and enjoying the good foods that we make at home, and putting all that nurturing Cancerian love in it, okay? That can be very good as well. All right, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, available on my website, www.themoontree.org. All right, we'll knock 3 times, and we'll see for you, Cancer, what's happening here in June. For Cancer in June 2026. Good luck, of course. Well, Jupiter in Cancer, it's bringing you luck here for them, and then it is going to go into Leo. Jupiter is going to move into Leo in July, and things are going to change in the world starting in July. We're going to see all that. Just watch some of my old prediction videos that I made back in December of 2025. But anyway, just want to say, enjoy the good luck vibes here. The clover can also mean food and vitamins and minerals and things for your body. Okay, we talked about that. Food as medicine, learning more about that. In fact, I'm making my own dandelion tincture right now, and so it'll be ready in June, so later in June. So I'm excited for that. Good for the kidneys and the liver and all sorts of things, because I really believe in the mind body soul connection. It's all connected, right? So looking at that, let's see what I wrote for number 2. Oh, and that's 2 is a number of we're trying to find balance, right? And can be a lot about relationships too, which I know that Cancerians are looking at the relationships with themselves, the relationships with their coworkers, the relationship with their boss, their lovers, their family members, all sorts of things with relationships happening for you, Cancer, in June as well. So clover is a lot about the opportunities in life, a positive outcome, a little bit of luck. It can be grass, herbs, and plants. We talked about that. Could be a good time to study herbology. You like the different weeds. If it's a weed, it's probably good for you, right? Look that up. Like all sorts of weeds are good for you, and learning more about that stuff. It can be about taking a chance and positive thinking, which in the 12th house, Gemini activating our 12th house for the month, at least until June 21st. Well, it can get depressing in the 12th house sometimes. The 12th house likes to hold down and subdue our emotions and make us stressed sometimes too, while we're being intuitive and connecting to the other side, the different things and all that stuff we talked about. But, a positive outlook and belief systems can go a long way. And I expect the best, that kind of thing. Citrine, yellow aventurine, emerald, right? Those kind of things are very good for us as gemstones for healing. Green jade, green aventurine, And for essential oils, jasmine and bergamot can be very good as well. Tea tree oil can be very good as well, right? Especially with this whole tick thing that's going on. I don't know how deep you guys go down rabbit holes here, but the whole tick thing, keep those ticks away, wink, wink. And Jupiter runs this card, which is good fortune, and Jupiter in Cancer, right? So that's important. And the auric field. So this card runs the aura, the energy fields too. So that can do a lot with that 12th house, 6th house line that we're on. Okay. So working on our energy fields. I love essential oil. I'm going to spray somewhere and get that vibe to you too. Right. All right. 6 of diamonds, if you like playing cards as well. And 6 is a lot about finding harmony and balance after the chaotic 5, right? So 6 of diamonds is the start. But the affirmation is everything always works out for me. And in fact, at the bottom of any of our cards of the power of 8, open it up and look on the bottom. Everything always works out for me. So there's another, little hint there. When things get tough in the 12th and 6th house, sometimes a positive outlook can go a long way. So thanks, Cancer, for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, Leo rising, those with their moons in Leo. Well, you're on the good luck train here, okay, in Gemini season until June 21st. So from May 20th to June 21st, you're in the 11th house, activation of good stuff, good benefactors. It's a lot about the people, new networks, new clients, new people, new groups of friends, maybe new groups that you're getting involved with, Leos. That's good. That's a good thing. Lots of times when we have these high vibe people, new opportunities come our way. It's like doors opening through the people in some ways. So that looks really good. There has been a career energy for you and business career popularity, up leveling in some way, or deep thoughts. But if you are you're looking for new career, new business stuff, this is a good time to do that. We have the full moon on May 31st in Sagittarius. So illuminating and, a lot about your 5th house, which is the fun house. It has a lot to do with your kids too. I mean, some of this can be about your kids having new groups, new organizations. It can be an ending in the 5th house for one of your kids. I would say it could be a lot about the education. It is, June is kind of graduation season, isn't it? So I'm not surprised if a lot of you Leos your kids are graduating, and could be graduating high school or college and moving on to the next chapter, the next level. So this is a fun line, the 11-5. The 11th house, fifth house line that you're on. It's good luck. It's creativity. It's fun with people. It's actually having fun in general. So enjoy your June. I think it'll be really great for you. And Venus moves into Leo on June 13th. And Venus brings beauty, money, and all sorts of great, wonderful things. Okay. And luxury, which Leos, we know you love luxury. So that's coming for you on June 13th, too, for a few weeks. So enjoy that as well. I mean, lots of luxury and good things and to your first house of the self, Venus and Leo. I think a lot of you guys are going to just do some changes. Could be cosmetic surgery, could be new hairdo, could be new wardrobe to dress up and improve the beauty, we'll say, of the external, which is this meat suit that we live in. The soul resides in this Tupperware. Okay, so it's like Venus and Leo is going to make you look naturally better and more vibrant, and you'll find more popularity. That's true. But it is a good time if you've been thinking of a new hairstyle or something really different, maybe getting yourself some new wardrobe, anything like that. It'll be definitely a good time starting June 13th. All right. And when we look good, we naturally feel confident, and that exudes, and then more opportunities, more money, more people, more great things can come your way as well, right? It's just the natural process of things. So yeah, it's looking really good. I would say though, the 11th house activation with Gemini in there, there's a lot of communication with different people, different networks, maybe new hobbies or selling to people, or benefactors helping you out in some way. But also for the health and wellness, it's your lower legs, it's your circulation. So the more joy you have in life, Leo, and the more you enjoy June, the more your circulation benefits, and your heart and your circulation. So that's good. And your ankles. Okay. So that's going to be good. The lower legs that carry you, all that, the more joy that you have, the more fun in life, it's going to impact you in a great way. So that looks good. So Venus entering Leo, I want to go back to that because that's a big one for you. And June 13th, that's increasing your visibility and your magnetism. People notice you, Leo. Excellent month for branding and photography. If you are getting married, you'd look the greatest in your wedding photos. It's really good for live streams and making a luxury offer, right? Those VIP offers in your business, if you're like an entrepreneur or something. Lots good about performance too. If you're in some kind of athlete kind of thing, your performance is increased here and improved in June, and leadership. And you just don't want to hide this month. That's for sure. Attention is coming your way. In single Leos, you can attract admirers. And if you're coupled up, well, you might just need more affection from your partner, more appreciation, right? So if you have a Leo in your life, like some of you cross watchers, you not be a Leo, but you're watching this because you know an important Leo in your life. Well, that important Leo in your life wants more attention, affection, words of admiration, that kind of thing too. It's just we want to avoid any ego battles, all right? Now we want to watch for exhaustion of overperforming, okay, Leo? And you want to watch your heart health. So learning about the heart and what's healthy for the heart. Circulation, we talked about that. And inflammation can be big too. And you want to avoid dehydration, and rest can be productive too. Don't forget. All right. Let's pull a card for you, Leo, from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org. All right, Leo, 11th house, 5th house, 1st house activation. Mars and Taurus, I forgot to tell you about too. I just want to say, Leo, that's in your 10th house. You have more fame, recognition. You have more stamina when it comes to your job, your career, your business. You are popular to get more clients, all sorts of stuff like that. So the people are your cheat code to the game of life here in June, Leo. All right, June, Leo. Let's see what's up. There it is. Time. Ooh, one of my bonus cards. So sometimes when we get this card, it's like time is affecting us. Maybe we feel like time's going too fast, time's going too slow, or maybe it's all about how do we balance time with our work and other people and our own hobbies, 5th house, right? And our own fun at home or fun with the kids. Sometimes this means we're doing too much work and external stuff and not spending enough time with our kids, or not spending enough time having fun. All work and no play makes, what's his name? A dull boy. I can't remember. Jack a dull boy or whatever. Oh no, now I got Jack Nicholson in my brain from The Shining. Okay, but anyways, I digress. Okay, Leo. But time, let's see what I wrote about time. Number 37, 3 plus 7 equals 10. 1 plus, that's further reduced to 1, right? 1 plus 0. So 1, new beginnings, leadership in life. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good vibes for you, okay? Leo, the time card. The feeling of time becomes important. This is all your chakras, all of them. But onyx, carnelian is good. Onyx and carnelian would be two stones I would carry around with me or put into my brassiere. Carnelian for the love, the playfulness of the 511 line that you're on, right? The fun house. The fun house is the, I'm just going to say that. It's fun, right? And we should be having fun at least. Vetiver, neroli, rose absolute, and holy basil can be very helpful as essential oils. And then for the zodiac sign, this is run by Capricorn, which is earthly, and Pisces, which is watery for your emotions. And so your affirmation is, each moment is a gift and I am present. Isn't that nice? So I love that for you, Leo. Enjoy it. And don't be surprised if people want to help you out more in your, because the 11th house is a lot about the people in our lives that are benefactors in some way, new networks, organizations. But not only that, the 11th house that you're being activated with, Gemini, is a lot about your hopes and dreams for the future. Could be a good time to use that Gemini writing skill, right? Journaling, writing, doing a vision board for what you want in the future as well. Thanks, Leo. Virgo rising, those with their moons in Virgo. Well, you are having a career upgrade here. There's a restructuring too. I mean, Gemini season until June 21st has been activating your 10th house of career, fame, recognition, the legacy you leave behind, the mark you make on the world. And yeah, like you are a little more famous, or your reputation is being triggered here, hopefully in a good way, but the life is a lot about what we make of it. So I want to start by saying this has a lot to do with your joints, your skeleton, and your knees. So this foundation that kind of holds this body, this meat suit up inside, right? The joints, the skeleton, the knees is important to look at. I think this is less about more work, and instead it's efficiency is important. Automation, automating your systems at work, automating your self at home, things, systems, and having like more automations, like even with your email, making like an email automation system. So if somebody signs up with you, well, there's like an automation of a sequence of emails. You do it once and it's not continue doing the same thing over and over again, and learning how to use AI maybe to do some things that you don't like doing, for example. So making things more efficient, smarter routines in life for you, Virgo, can be very helpful. This is a really great month for spreadsheets or budgeting or reorganizing, let's say, because the full moon on May 31st in Sagittarius starts off the month there in lots of changes in your 4th house of home, family, real estate, and your ancestor stuff too. So there is trying to make your home great and nice vibes, and more reorganizing things in the home and at work, and just making things feel nicer in some way. So that can be very good. I think too, with that 4th house activation, Virgo, with the full moon, you just may crave more emotional depth with others and stability with others. Maybe not so superficial, but like deep stuff, right? Okay, Virgo, and for you, Mercury is your ruling planet. So I like to say, well, what's Mercury doing? The planet of communication and learning. And that's why you're so smart, because you're ruled by Mercury, by the way, Virgo. But that's happening. Mercury moves into Cancer on June 1st for pretty much, the month, I guess. And so that is in your 11th house of the people. I think you're going to be more intuitive when it comes to people, more nurturing when it comes to people. And for some of you Virgos, there's a real estate element to this Venus, bringing you blessings to your money, your real estate, buying or selling property, that kind of thing as well. I think for you also, Virgo, is that the universe will send you the right people to do business with, to have opportunities with, and that. So watch out for that. It could be a good time too with the 11th house activation with Mercury, is to think and write and journal and maybe talk about what are your hopes and dreams for the future now, right? And taking that, and it can be career, business, dreams. Maybe if you're retired, it's what do I want to do now with my life in retirement? How can I enjoy that as well? But the right people, I think, are coming your way. Mars is in Taurus pretty much all of the month of June too. So at least until June 28th. But Mars in Taurus for you, Virgo, is giving you more physical stamina and more go-go juice when it comes to expanding your horizons, when it comes to learning or teaching things, ninth house activation. It can also give you more stamina for travel and or I would say too, it's a really great time to publish something for your career business, whether that's an ebook, a course, whether that's publish some new business cards. Publishing something to the people can help enhance recognition and enhance an audience, and more audience, more clients, more popularity, more opportunities in general. So that looks good for you, Virgo. I'm seeing a pretty good month for you, June. I think your digestion and your nervous system are sort of connected this month in June, as well as the skeleton and the joints and things like that we talked about. So we just want to watch for stress eating, stomach issues. I think it's a lot about overthinking things. Let's not overthink things, and let's not get too tension. Not overdoing it too, is when things are so activated up here. That's up here in the chart, at the top of the wheel. And so there's a lot of pressure up there. There's a lot of busyness up there sometimes. And so we got to watch for tension and overworking and stress. So routine heals you, Virgo. All right, let's look at the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, available on my website, www.themoontree.org, if you're interested. All right, let's see for you, Virgo. But let's give it a good shuffle here. I say that because I got the pain card, and I didn't want to give you the pain card without something else to... So yes, there's pains in the asses. There's some trouble here, probably with the people, with your career, something that maybe you haven't been facing at home or in your business, and you really want to face that, get across these stones to get to the other side, so to speak. Okay, it's time to, you've got luck on your side to do that and to get over it. And you also got the stork, the changes, which helps fly above and improve and accelerate. Often when I get the stork, it's changes, but in a good way, like an up-leveling way. Changes in your career. Maybe you think your career, your job sucks, and you want to use the stork to find a new one, right? And transform into a better you. Maybe the living arrangements, where you live and who you live with, sucks. Well, this shows me big changes with the stork are coming your way, should you choose to go that route, okay? It's always up to you. I just give you the opportunities and the cards you're dealt, and you decide how to play them, but there's certain strategies. Now let's look at the stork in the book. What did I write? Number 17, that adds up to 8 too. Remember, 1 + 7 = 8. That's a feedback loop. There could have been something, there can be something in your life having to do with home or business that is put you in a feedback loop, and you can't seem to get out of it, right? That 8 on its side, and it's over and over, the infinite loop. I can't get out, right? But the stork says, yes, there's availability to you. There's a chance for you to rise up like the storks and transform in a better way. Changes, and often it can be family changes too, but or an improvement at work, or like a promotion, for example. But let's see what I wrote. Let's see what I wrote in the book, color booklet. All right, 17, stork, changes, life or family changes, up-leveling, relocation. Yes, and with that 10-4 sort of thing, some of you Virgos could be relocating. You may actually do it in June with that full moon starting it all off on May 31st in Sagittarius. So I wouldn't be surprised if June is a month of relocation for some of you. It could be a relocation, maybe not the house, but it could be a relocation of your business or your career in some way as well. This can also mean pregnancy. Maybe someone in your family is announcing they're pregnant. But I think that with all the stuff going on in your astrology, this is a lot about up-leveling your point of view into better belief systems about yourself, about your situations, right? The stork wants changes, but in an up-leveling, good kind of acceleration kind of way, or if that makes sense, an improvement in some way. Smoky quartz and carnelian, lapis lazuli, amethyst, unakite, turquoise, selenite, super 7. These are sort of some stones that I had written for this card to help you rise, okay, and have good changes. If anything, get yourself some frankincense. Maybe mix it up with a little citrus, like a tangerine, and or go the other way and mix it up with balsam fir. Frankincense mixed with balsam fir or tangerine. Okay, this will be very good for you when it comes to essential oils. All right, I like to make a spray and put it with water. I love essential oils for you too, Virgo, especially you being health conscious and also you being of the earth element. You naturally are drawn to things like natural from the ground, like essential oils and things. And then the planets are Jupiter for travel, Uranus for changes, and North Node, the new. So lots of changes that can be good to rise above the pain or the pain in the butt of that card, okay? The Queen of Hearts, right, is the playing card association. Look up the Queen of Hearts. Just stare at the Queen of Hearts. Say it with the Queen of Hearts, right? Listen to that song. I have confidence in myself as I'm the architect of my own future. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Virgo. Come to me for a reading. www.themoontree.org. All right, Libra rising, those with their moons in Libra. Okay, Gemini until June 21st is activating your 9th house. Wow, you are learning about new things. I mean, some of you are actually taking a course, literally, or maybe teaching. Learning, teaching can be the vibe here for you, Libra. It's also energy healing. It's also opening up belief systems. I feel like you may have believed something, but new information has come to make you not believe that anymore. In some cases, some people, some Libra risings, moons, or suns may even change religion. Okay, a change in your belief systems, your awareness. How do we change our belief systems? Through travel or through learning, like a book, a course, or something like that. Those are the two ways that our belief systems get changed. So data is definitely coming your way. Gemini loves data, loves the data coming to you, Libra. You guys are both air signs. Gemini season is air element, Libra air element. So lots in the mind, lots of that. So, you know, I can see too, because Venus rules you, and Venus is moving into Leo on June 13th, which is your 11th house of the people. So what I'm going to say for you, Libra, is collaborations can help you this month. Excellent energy for partnerships, for renewals, for networking, for affiliate marketing, if you're into that, and for audience growth, if you're a solopreneur. But we just don't want to overspend to try and impress people, because Venus in Leo likes to be look at me and maybe overspendy, and it's because you're trying to look really, really great. But I mean, you can find great clothes, great things, you know, without having to spend a ton of money too, right? So it's looking for that ways, not overspending to try and impress people. Okay, Libra. I do see lots of action too and busyness for you in June. That full moon on May 31st starts June off pretty much in your 3rd house. Full moon in Sagittarius is activating your 3rd house of your community, of your neighborhood. Some of you may be moving, okay, Libra, considering relocating to a new community, or it could be just a really long trip or a big trip, or like a big important trip somewhere is happening for you. But I do see a lot of education. A lot of you are doing the school thing or teaching or a course maybe or something like that, okay, Libra, or you're learning or you're teaching. It depends. There could be to the end of your old vehicle, and then in June you buy a new one. And I like to see, well, what's Venus doing? And Venus is in Cancer because Venus runs you, like it rules you as a Libra. It also rules Taurus. So for you, Venus is in Cancer until June 13th. That's hitting your 10th house of your reputation, your recognition at work, your career, your business. That's at the top of the chart. I think you're more popular here. Good to make collaborations with people. Good time to find a new job if you don't like yours. Okay, and things like that. So that looks good. I do think that by June 13th, when things move from Cancer to Venus in Leo. So Venus in Leo starting June 13th, and this is your 11th house, Libra, of people, networks. Pretty sure that your love life and relationships and friendships and stuff becomes much more social, much more playful, starting on June 13th and on. You may reconnect with some old friends You may meet someone through the community, and that's nice. I think that if you're single and ready to mingle, Libra, you can find people through getting invitations, or you might find a new spouse, a new romance. When you get invited to something, go to that. You'll probably meet someone there. Or it could be through networks at work or in your career, whatever you do as a career in some way like that too. You can find new possibilities for love. So that looks good. When it comes to health, we're looking at your liver this month of June, and your hips and thighs a little bit too. I'm really going to focus on the liver. The liver holds anger. In fact, I'm making a dandelion tincture right now that should be ready in June. It's settling in my jar there. I can see it with my eyes. And so, dandelion is especially good for the liver and kidneys. So check into that. Balance for you, Libra, is everything here. Watch for hormonal imbalance, sugar overload, and emotional people pleasing. All right. And also indecision stress. Gemini is going to make you feel a little indecisive. Okay, Libra, when it comes to things. I think beauty routines, self-care can help your mood. I would look into also urine therapy. Yes, I said it. The golden juice, the golden elixir. And a lot of people get grossed out by urine therapy, but they don't realize that it's not a waste thing. Like you don't pee because it's not like pooping where the waste. Urine is made from plasma in the blood. Like it's a byproduct of the kidneys filtering your blood. That's what urine really is. And there's a lot of great healing things. So look into urine therapy as well, Libra. Just wanted to put it out there. All right. Now, let's see for the Power of 8 chakra Lenormand for you in June. Okay, Libra. All right. Okay, Libra in June 2026. The star, the superstar. Oh, look at that. That 9th house flavor with Gemini in your 9th house, expanding your horizons. And then there's some other actions here that are making you a little bit famous in a way too, or recognized, or just your hopes and wishes and dreams, Libra, are coming true, especially when Venus goes into Leo on June 13th. Really good time to journal or think about your hopes, wishes, aspirations. It's with the star card as well, and that looks really good. Let's see what I wrote for the star card, number 16. Oh my gosh, I just pulled it to the right page. All right. Not only is it aspirations, hopes, and dreams for the star card, it's about faith and trust and your desires. There can be a big spirituality flavor with the star card too. In the 9th house, the Gemini season is activating your 9th house, Libra, of the spiritual too. It's energy healing, I find, is in the 9th house too. Bending spoons, auric healing, energy ley lines, that kind of stuff too. But anyways, this can be about the fame, the recognition, the reputation, having success with people and in life, being optimistic, and that's very good. And black kyanite, citrine, and blue kyanite can all be very helpful. By the way, when you get citrine, only get the yellow one. Don't get the bronze amber colored citrine. That means it's been dynamited and burnt, and lots of the properties are dead. Now, essential oils are frankincense. Wow, I've been getting frankincense a lot for people today. Frankincense, grapefruit, balsam, and gardenia can be very good. Frankincense and grapefruit. Wow, that'd be a nice mix, actually. They smell really good. Now, we've got Aquarius, the air element. Makes me think of my Libra friend. She has an Aquarius moon. But yes, so we've got the air elements, and Gemini is also an air. So Gemini season is an air element too. I do think for you, Libra, you're getting just lots of ideas and data and things to help with your new life. And Jupiter brings you good fortune and expansion with this card. So that looks nice. And the 6 of hearts, if you like playing cards, and the hearts is our emotions, and the 6 is a lot about harmony, balance. So having balance too is important during this time for you, Libra. And your affirmation for this card, the star: I receive multitudes of energy from the countless stars. Oh, that looks so great. I love that for you. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, Scorpio rising, those with their moons in Scorpio. Okay, so this Gemini season. So the sun is in Gemini, and that is in your 8th house. Ooh, that's deep and mystical and magical. There's also a lot about money, though. You are on the money line, just like Taurus is this month. Okay, so there's a lot about your worth, your value, transformation of your debt, looking at your finances. And also, Pluto in Aquarius, I just want to mention, is transforming your foundations. That's in your 4th house. So that's the home, the family, the real estate, your inner you. There's a lot going on there about your value, your self-worth, what you charge, how you spend money, how you save money, all that kind of stuff. You might suddenly realize, Scorpio, that your career path is changing. Your priorities are shifting, and maybe the goals that you used to have are changing as well. This is an excellent month for you, Scorpio, to reallocate or look at your investments. I did some predictions in December 2025 about 2026, and yeah, there looks like to be some kind of crash coming. Maybe it won't fully develop until 2027, but we are starting to see already some stuff. So it could be a good idea to allocate some resources to physical assets. Maybe some precious metals, for example, that you can hold, having objects and groceries and things to save for later. Even if nothing happens, at least you're buying at a lower price right now until stagflation hits later, right? We're already going through inflation right now, but just wait. So good idea to have some things. Also good too, to, bartering, like for bartering and trading with your neighbors, things too. So think long-term and sustainable assets too when it comes to your resources. And maybe it's all about growing your own food, right? And learning more about herbs and weeds as medicine, right? And time they call things like a weed, like dandelion and things, those are the best medicine. In fact, I just made a dandelion tincture that is brewing right now. And so in June, it'll be ready. So that'll be exciting for me as well, Scorpio. I think it's just good for long-term planning, not the short game, okay? For some of you Scorpios, this month in June is a powerful time to reinvent yourself in some way, and then make more money out of it, feel more healthier out of it, and getting out of any feedback loops, because that 8th house is like an 8 on its side is the infinite symbol, and it's like, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this feedback loop, right? Making different decisions, taking different actions than the past. Maybe what you tried before isn't working. So you're really thinking your goals, your strategy for the long game. Okay, Scorpio, so that's exciting. Yeah, lots of money, worth, resources. Some of you Scorpio risings especially could receive some money from the government or inheritance, or perhaps you're looking at velocity banking to use your credit cards more wisely in the way that they're meant to be used. I do have some videos somewhere on my channel about that, but it's a lot about the resources and finances for you, Scorpio. But it's not only that, it's transforming you deep issues and transforming you to a different way, and not feeling fearful for the future, but excited for all these changes you've been doing in the background you're starting to lift up into a whole new you. I like to see what Mars is doing for you, because that's your ruling planet in traditional astrology, just like Aries. So you and Aries have Mars as your ruling planet. So it's always good to look at what Mars is doing. And it's in Taurus for pretty much all of June until June 28th. So it's in Taurus. So there's another example of security. Taurus, security, money, resources, stability. So Mars is a hot, active, action-oriented planet. And so that's why, Scorpio, you're like a bulldozer. You're not afraid usually of things. And you've maybe had a tougher life sometimes than other people, because Mars has a way of sort of, it's like the Apollo planet, like a warrior planet in a way too. So it's in Taurus for you. And that is in your 7th house of your contracts, commitments, and your really close partnerships. So I would say there's more energy with collaborations, 7th house of working one-on-one with people, having meetings one-on-one with people, more energy and things if you need to sever yourself away from a situation. So Mars helps to cut with this big sword, let's say, he'll cut and sever and be brave about it for you. You know, it's helping you get out of any feedback loops of no return, because maybe you've been in a partnership, for example, and this doesn't have to be always romance. It can be like a career thing, a business thing, some kind of partnership where you've signed on the dotted line with someone, and now you're ready to break that because it's not for you anymore, maybe. But you haven't had the bravery, or maybe the gumption or the go-go just to do that. So I think in June, you're able to do that better. You're able to sever yourself from contracts and commitments that no longer are serving you anymore at this time. It can even be used for getting out of addictions, or getting out of bad patterns in any way. It's a good time for you to do that. It's not always easy, okay? I'm not saying it's easy, but Mars is helping you to do those things. There is a lot about intimacy issues with that eighth house activation for you, Scorpio. You know, you're intimate, you know, things like that in the reproductive areas, right? You might be more cognizant or aware of your reproductive area, okay? And things that are going on there. It could be the ovaries, the uterus, anything like that too, if you're a woman, for example. But also the eighth house has a lot to do with elimination in the colon. So colon health, right? Colonoscopies, food for the colon, and elimination too. Also not just of the colon, but also of parasites. I'm sensing for you too. It could be a good time to look into a parasite cleanse, for example. And yeah, so lots about the elimination there. I think too, you know, when it comes to love and romance and relationship stuff, it could be an intense month for you with that eighth house activation. Intense emotionally, getting deeper in the eighth house with your emotions, right? It could be intimacy issues with your partner, right? And talking and communication, because Gemini sun, right? Gemini season for everybody, that's a communication and a learning vibe in the air up here. So communication could be a really great thing, you know, in all situations. You may be uncovering some secrets or unknown information coming up as well. And some of your relationship dynamics could be completely changing for you, Scorpio, in June. I would just say avoid control issues, because your Mars sometimes wants to control the situation and be the boss, right? But Gemini says, hey, it's the twins. Let's have a two-way conversation here. So it's not about being controlling over someone or someone controlling you. It's finding that two-way street, right? It takes two to tango. So it's not just detoxification of your body and the colon, the elimination, the parasites. We talked about that. It's also detoxing things in your life in that eighth house. It's to help you transform, to lift up, like the Phoenix rising is one of our cards in the power of 8. But, we'll get to your cards too in a minute. I would say try to support your liver too, not just your reproductive issues and your hormones, but your liver's holding a lot of anger. My dandelion tincture would help with that if it was ready. Dandelions are very good for the liver and the kidneys, that would be very helpful for you. Maybe get some dandelion tea, okay? I also have dandelion powder that's mixed with chicory, and I mix it in my coffee, and you don't taste it. It tastes like coffee. So I mix it in with my coffee. So something like that. I think it's also important for you, Scorpio, to emotionally release. I mean, you could do that through the Gemini communication thing that we talked about, talking, journaling, writing about it. In deeper conversations here, I think, is what's going to be happening for you. Deeper conversations about intimacy issues, but not just that. It's also about finances quite a bit, especially finances if you're married. I think you guys are going to be talking a lot about the future and finances when it comes to your long game. So be open to those conversations, and remember, don't try to control it. Try to be active listener as well, feedback. So that kind of feeling. But you do want to protect your energy from toxic people, very much so in June with that 8th house activation. Toxic people, toxic situations, toxic things going in your body, all toxic environments. It's important to avoid and choose a better way, right? Okay, let's pull a card from our deck. The Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, which is available on my website, www.themoontree.org. Okay. This is a color booklet. And when you get the, I didn't really show that very good. Okay. And then when you get the cards and you open it up, you've got your chakra chart to tell you what's going on. And then at the bottom, everything always works out for me. Okay, just a little reminder. Okay, so here we are for you, Scorpio. We're going to knock 3 times and we're going to see what's in store for you. Some energies that may be coming your way and things to look out for. Oh, so we do have the home and family card here. That is a lot about the Pluto in Aquarius. I know in traditional astrology, Pluto doesn't mean anything, but for modern astrology, you're ruled by Pluto, aren't you? So, that is happening in your 4th house of the home and family and the intimate issues and your deep thoughts. So there could be something coming up here when it comes to money, about property, finance, maybe inheritance property or something like that. Maybe it's looking into ways to avoid taxes for when you pass away, how to do, I forget what it's called, a living trust, I think it's called. Stuff to look at when it comes, because 8th house too has a lot to do with taxes, and we want to avoid taxes. So doing those research when it comes to your property, your house, the legacy you leave behind to your kids and things like that. Okay, so that's important. And also if you're buying or selling property this month too, which you could very well be doing, it's looking at all the fine print, looking at things deeply, and realizing, at least in Canada here, a lot of people are defaulting on mortgages. And so we want to be careful about affordability. And some of you may be down. I just had the download that some of you may be downsizing too, which is just fine, whatever floats your boat, but whatever feels good to you, Scorpio. It could be too a case of you're looking for, how can I make this house of mine, which is actually a liability, how can I make it into a cash generating cash flow asset? Well, there's different ways, like doing pet sitting in your home, creating a room to rent out. We do that in our house. We have a room that we rent out and it works just fine. He's been here for 4 or 5 years now and it's been great. Making Airbnb, right? So it's not all the time, it's a few times a month or whatever. It's even just starting a little sole proprietorship, for example, and being able to write off some of your space and some of your bills and your mileage and things like that to create more of an asset rather than a liability. So there's that. So lots of stuff about money, finances, resources, and transformation. So that looks good. Come see me for a reading, Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius rising, those with their moons in Sag. So Gemini season until June 21st, most of June there, is about your 7th house. You're really looking at your contracts, your commitments, and your one-on-one partnerships. This could be collaborations with a business partner or your job or your spouse, or maybe you're thinking of signing on the dotted line to get married, right? So just think contracts, commitments, and those one-on-one things. I want to talk about the full moon happening on May 31st. In Sagittarius. That's you. So big full moon for you, starting off, June. So May 31st, full moon, mark this down, in Sagittarius. That's your 1st house of the self. It activates you very strongly. You're craving freedom. Okay. You already are a freedom loving sign, Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. But here with this full moon, you're really thinking about how you can be free. This month supports travel for you and for online businesses. If you've been thinking about that, wink, wink. Teaching, publishing, coaching, expanding your audience. Just avoid the financial recklessness. Some of you may be ending a relationship or starting a new one under this full moon week as well. Or perhaps you're deciding on, maybe we should take our relationship to the next level, like getting married, for example. This whole month, you just want honesty. You want adventure. Relationships that feel restrictive will frustrate you. And that's any kind of relationship. Like I said, it doesn't have to just be romance. Everybody always goes to romance when I say the word relationship. But we have all sorts of relationships, right? We have family relationships. We have career relationships, business relationships, friendships, and all that too, right? And so anything that feels restrictive will probably frustrate you here. You might suddenly fall in love, though, while traveling, okay? Or when you're learning something new, especially when Venus moves into Leo on June 13th, for those next few weeks, into July, when Venus moves into Leo on June 13th, That's activating your ninth house of learning, publishing, travel, foreign affairs. I wouldn't be surprised if you met someone through traveling or through school or a class that you attend or something like that, or even your publisher. Maybe you're ready to publish some oracle cards yourself, like us, right? Maybe, and then you meet someone that in those kind of areas, who knows? But it looks exciting to expand your horizons. I think that you're just craving that freedom. And maybe some changes in your day-to-day life. Maybe things that feel kind of boring or stagnant and you're ready for this change. And so I feel like any relationships or constrictions, contracts or commitments that don't feel good anymore, you'll definitely be breaking those the first week of June. Okay. When it comes to wellness, the seventh house activates your kidneys, your hormones, and your adrenal glands. Okay, adrenals and lymph nodes too, maybe a little bit there, but your adrenals are like what causes the adrenaline and makes you feel anxious and things like that. Your hormones may be a little wacky here this month, you know, especially if you're going through perimenopause, right? You might notice a little more action when it comes to that. And also, you know, kidney health. Let's support our kidneys. I would research kidneys tonight. Foods for kidney health. I always go to the foods first. Food is medicine. And I like naturals myself. And look at ways, and it can be, I like, you know, Chinese metaphysics and Chinese health ways to help with the kidneys. There could be some acupressure points that you learn about to massage and things like that too. So learn about that, Sag. That'd be very helpful for you. And movement is going to help you with the mental health this month as well. So, like, you know, it's an excellent month for hiking and walking, moving those Sagittarius legs. Okay. Jupiter rules you in ancient astrology. What's Jupiter doing for you? Ooh, eighth house. Okay, so you know what? I think that there's also some new stuff going on with transformation, emotional transformation. If you have a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, something like that, there's interesting developments there. I think you're going to decide to stay or go when it comes to relationships of love as well. And there's also some attention to on contracts and commitments when it comes to your money. Okay, it could be government money, inheritance money, maybe, or credit card debt. Or I think it's also looking at your investments and reallocation and diversification of your investments and leaning a little more towards solid investments that you can hold in your hand. Okay, I can't say too much without, you know, platforms getting mad at me. So you know what I mean? Real things that you can hold in your hand as part of your portfolio. Okay, not a financial advisor though. Go talk to yours. Okay, Sag, let's pull a card now from the Power of Eight Chakra. Lenormand, look at those legs, just like you, Sagittarius. Woo! Reaching for the stars, reaching for freedom, the rainbow, all sorts of nice, cool vibes there. Power of Eight. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org, where Lenormand's been chakrified. All right, let's see for you, Sagittarius. Seventh house activation. Seventh house contracts, commitments. A little bit with your clients too, the marketplace too, with the seventh house. I noticed more of like the client relationships too could be coming to play for you, Sagittarius, here in June. And look, we got the Tower, which has a lot to do with the authority in your life, the tax man, corporations. Let's see what I wrote about the Tower in number 19. Now, remember, we're talking about contracts, commitments, a little bit of money as well. You know, I'm almost thinking something with the taxes quite a bit for you, Sagittarius. Maybe it's avoiding taxes too when it comes to real estate, or how do we alleviate taxes, or something about the government I'm sensing for you, Sagittarius, with this card. But there's more. Official buildings is what the Tower in Lenormand is, okay? Government and legal buildings, okay? Oh, well, maybe there's a court case or something that you're going through as well that'll be finalized too. So that looks interesting. Political organizations, taxes, sovereignty, being sovereign in your life, right? Free. Condominiums or offices. I don't really see a lot of real estate energy. However, there is some eighth house stuff happening for you. Which could potentially mean money coming in from property, I suppose. It could be something like that. Maybe you want to make a new contract or commitment to a condominium or a tall kind of building, or something like that. We've got hospitals, libraries, colleges, universities, anything like that that equals the authoritative building. So that's going to be a thing. Obsidian and shungite can be very good for you. Those are black rocks. And these dark colored rocks are very good for protection, okay, and grounding for you during this time, as well as the essential oil clove and anise and basil. These essential oils can be very helpful. And, this is ruled by Capricorn, an earth element, and it could be to do with work for some of you, contracts, commitments, doing about work and money issues and things like that. Maybe it's they're going to start matching your RSPs. I don't know. Like your retirement stuff. Who knows? But it does have something to do, I think, with the authority in your life when it comes to your other money and your long-term salary, wealth, job, business, that kind of vibe I'm getting for you. Your affirmation is, I am my own authority, for I am the only one who thinks in my mind. Wow, Sagittarius. Yes, a lot of transformation of your money, of your worth, your finances, and some interaction, I would say, with authoritative figures in some way, perhaps. If it was about marriage, this could be the church that you get married in, and then how you sign the contract to get married, that kind of stuff with lawyers. And we do see the letter that came up to it, fell out, and the letter is messages, but it's the written word like contracts and stuff like that too. So yeah, not surprised, Sag. You're definitely signing something this month. Come see me for a reading. Capricorn rising, those with their moons in Capricorn. Well, most of June until June 21st is Gemini season, and that's activating your 6th house, Capricorn. This is a lot about your health. You're really cognizant and observant about your health and your day-to-day routine, and trying to make things easy and smooth and go with the flow, right? There's things having to do with that. For some of you, this can mean rental properties as well. We do have that full moon on May 31st in Sagittarius, which kind of kickstart your June in the 12th house of the hidden, the subconscious, working with stress. We want to keep your June as stress-free as possible, more flowy, more easy, more efficient. So anything you can do to that, and making your body more efficient. What are you eating? Making yourself less stressed out in some way. This could be by you have to delegate, or you have to learn time management, or you have to let go of certain things that don't float your boat anymore, to make room for a healthier lifestyle, to make room for a smoother, more enjoyable day-to-day life, right? So you're really working on the mental health and the physical health as well, but it has to do a lot with efficiency and stress management as well for you, Capricorn, this month. Now, the 6th house that Gemini is activating is your intestines and your gut health. So you really want to work with your gut health. And I'll tell you why. The gut is attached to the heart, is attached to the brain. So they're all intertwined here. And so gut health and digestion will be really, really good. Let's say if you've been having troubles lately with the digestion and the gut health, avoid dairy, avoid gluten, avoid processed sugar. Those 3 things right there can help so much. Right? And then you can go further. I wouldn't do everything all at once. That's such a shock to the system, but slowly but surely. Eating less foods from a box. Okay. Look at all those preservatives and all those things, and starting to eat healthier, and also growing your own food and learning about herbal medicine. The weeds, they call them weeds, dandelions, okay? But they're the best medicine. In fact, I've got dandelion tincture, which will be ready in June. That's good for the kidneys and the liver and a bunch of other things too. But you know what I mean? Learning more about that in the 6th house, that could be for you this month too. Could be about your pets too, something happening with your pets. The full moon on May 31st activates your 12th house, which is in cahoots with your 6th house of the pets. So, and 12th house can mean hospital hospitalizations. For some of you, it could be you have to visit the hospital for someone, or maybe your pet needs to go to the hospital to get something fixed or checked or something. Or it could be you yourself needing to go for some kind of checkup or something to do with healthcare in some way as well. Mars, though, in Taurus is in your fifth house of fun, kids, and giving you lots of energy to play with your kids and your grandkids, and more action around your hobbies and fun things too. So to alleviate the day-to-day and all this health stuff and all that, it's important to have fun. Take up your hobby again that you used to do that was fun, whether that's painting or volleyball or I don't know, whatever, Zumba. I'm just making up stuff, but you know what I mean, like doing something fun that you used to do and you kind of forgot about it. Maybe good time to do that. And it's a good time. You'll have the energy with Mars in your fifth house to play with your kids and to play with your grandkids and to also be like a little bit childlike yourself again, right? The wonders of childhood and the way we look at the world through child's eyes. That's very nice too for you, I can see. Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in your fourth house of the home and family. So there you go. I think that you are getting maybe a little bit observant about how things are going at your house, wherever you live, making things better, maybe doing some prepping for the future, prepper. Some of you are moving to a new rental. I talked about that. Or you are now deciding to rent a property out to someone too, So that could be a thing as well. But in any case, it's all about enjoying a low stress, efficient lifestyle that's healthy and having fun too. I think the full moon on June 29th, that's the end of the month. There's a full moon on June 29th in Capricorn, which is your sign. And that is putting your career and your goals under a spotlight. Okay, I think something might culminate when it comes to your promotion. In if you work for someone, a promotion, a launch, a recognition of some sort for you, or a realization. I think you're building something long term now. And in general, for your money, though, this whole month of June, Capricorn, is really good for serious financial planning, and your real estate and your investments and your legacy building and your wills and the long-term wealth and legacy you leave behind. I think you're gonna have a good month to do those things. I think when it comes to love and relationships and stuff, you may feel more emotionally vulnerable than usual, so you might cry. Capricorn, usually you're not much of a crier, I know that, but you might just feel a little more emotionally vulnerable. And if you have to cry, cry. There's nothing wrong with that. Relationships do require a balance between work and emotional connection, right? So I think that's something that's coming to play. You just want to watch that you don't, sixth house is day-to-day. Often we do a lot. Sixth house can be busy in the day-to-day. So you want to watch for overworking and the joint pain, your joints. Looking at supplements maybe, or teas or things that help with joint pain, stress, sleep deprivation, that kind of vibe as well this June. I think your body, Capricorn, just needs recovery time. All right, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8, Chakra Lenormand. The cover's worn out on this one. I just keep using the same deck. I should probably open a new box, but still good. It's just the cover, but the covers actually look like this one. Okay, so comes with the color booklet, the Power of 8, Chakra Lenormand. So let's see for you, Capricorn, what's up in June for you. All right. Oh, there was one right there. Look at this, the ship, commerce, business. Wow, Capricorn, some of you could be getting a new job, if you're into that. But in general, this is a really good card to make money in some way. So it could be, just getting out there, going to the people, selling. If you are a salesperson, this is a good time to make more sales this month as well. For some of you, it could be that you're moving, right? The ship can sometimes mean moving. Let's see what I wrote about the ship. Okay. Number 3, merging, blending, growth. 3. Okay, 3, ship. Business growth, travel, a sea cruise. sea cruise. Ooh, that would be nice. A- or it could be a trip on land. Could be a road trip. Could be that you're buying a new RV. You might be seeking adventure too at this time. Maybe the sixth house for you is it's kind of getting boring, the same old, same old. Maybe you're needing a change, and maybe you want to explore something new and go on a little mini vacation. That can always help with stress. Just a change in some way could be good. But in general, though, this card in Lenormand does mean financially, often having to do with commercial or business. So that looks good. We could all use more money, right? Smoky quartz, onyx, black kyanite. Those are those dark stones but you also can get yourself some carnelian for the orange. The carnelian, you can't really see it here, but it's the fun one. And remember I told you that you had Mars and Taurus in your fifth house of fun and being like a kid again, playing with kids, doing new adventures, hobbies, all that kind of fun stuff, a little bit of luck. Well, carnelian is orange, and that would be a good stone, too, in addition to those dark ones like the smoky quartz or the onyx or the black kyanite. All right. This is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Jupiter's in Cancer until the end of June, and that's hitting your seventh house of the contracts, commitments, the people, new clients. So I'm seeing for a lot of you Capricorns that your work could, especially if you're in sales, this is a really good month for sales, a really good month to make new connections, really good month to get a new job if that's what you've been looking for, new work environment in some way that feels better for you, Capricorn. And the body parts for the ship are the liver and the gallbladder. And remember, we talked about your intestines, your gut, your digestion, your routines, all those things. So a lot of body health with the sixth house. Gemini, in the sun in Gemini until June 21st, your sixth house. There is a lot about the health, and in this card it's talking specifically about the liver and the gallbladder. Okay, so research those body parts and maybe some holistic treatments you can do at home, certain acupressure points you can do, certain massage techniques, certain herbs or teas that you could drink, things like that could be very helpful for you. Indeed, your affirmation is, my life is an adventure and I am open to all possibilities. Also, I wanted to mention that the playing card for this is the 10 of spades, which could be seen as the 10 of wands in Tarot. Now, sometimes with the 10, we're overworking and we have to carry, and we feel very tired carrying all these wands, carrying all these spades, and maybe working a little too hard. And that can cause stress issues, digestion issues. And so be sure to relax, water, Capricorn, could definitely help you. Just, bathing in cleansing salts and getting your magnesium gel or lotion. The magnesium can help, all these things to help your health, mental health and physical health and emotional health. But you know what I mean? Like working on all things as holistically and organically as possible. So that looks good for you. Come see me for a reading, Capricorn, and thank you for watching. Aquarius rising, and those with their moons in Aquarius. Ooh, woo. I am excited because I'm an Aquarius sun, and Gemini is running through our fifth house of the fun. This is one of the best months for us, at least until June 21st, as the sun in Gemini passes through. So the fifth house for us is a lot about creativity, and it can be good for fertility. So if you are looking to get pregnant, it's really good to choose 5 days in June. June 5th, June 14th, because 1 + 4 = 5. June 23rd. Those 3 days are really good for getting preggers if you are interested in that, because the fifth house can fertility. It could also be like you're like me, where we're we can't get pregnant anymore because we have our tubes tied. We've had enough kids. Okay. So maybe it's like someone in our family we hear gets pregnant, or if you have grandchildren, maybe your son or daughter announces, oh, you're going to be a grandparent again, something like that. Fifth house. But it's not just kids and stuff. It's also about being creative, doing your hobbies. There's a little bit of luck there too, Aquarius. If you're feeling lucky, especially when it comes to games of chance, like the smaller things like bingo or horse races or raffle tickets, the smaller lotteries, the smaller games of chance, you'll have a bigger chance to win those. So that's exciting. Fifth house, I love it. It's the fun house. It's also the house of romance, Aquarius. It's a really good time to meet someone or have a romance as well. And that's always nice. We do have that full moon on May 31st in Sagittarius. That's in our 11th house of the people, the networks, the friends. So lots of attention on there. Some of you may be ending some friendships or some old networks and gaining new ones for some reason. And that can happen for any reason. It could be because you're moving or because you're changing jobs. So you're getting a whole new network. It could be that you found yourself a new friendship group and you're going to hang out with them more in June. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can be there. But the people are definitely in the zone of vision for you, Aquarius. I want to talk about Pluto. In modern astrology, Pluto rules us. And as we all know, Pluto moved into Aquarius and will be there for like the next 17, 18 years now. So big changes for us here as Aquarians. I would say we're becoming more powerful as Aquarians, but also more aware of how we impact others. But this month in particular is supporting technology. It's supporting the online communities, Zoom meetings. If you get invited to things, you should do that in June. I've got invited to being a guest on certain podcasts and things like that. So I'm going to say yes to the ones that feel right for me, for example. But online communities is very good. And maybe some futuristic business models that can be good to pivot through this AI. There's no more industrial revolution. No, it's the AI revolution, right? But, as Aquarians who are humanitarian at heart, it's good to add some of that human component to our technology thing. As you notice, did you know like a lot of Generation Zs and Generation Alpha, the younger folk, we'll call it, are starting to be, wanting the 80s music, looking into cassette tapes and CDs and rotary phones, like the things that you would see on like Young Sheldon, just shows like that I love. But, showing like all the 80s and 70s stuff kind of making a comeback. So it's kind of like the old stuff, how cycles go. But I would say too, with that idea, unconventional income streams, stuff you never thought about before, weird ways to make money, right? And Aquarians, you're used to hearing the word weird. You're so weird, right? But it's also about unconventional and unique. And that's why Aquarians are Aquarians. We're very futuristic and different and innovative. So using that to make money. Trust your innovative ideas, Aquarius. They're coming really good this month. When it comes to love, Aquarians may crave both freedom and the deep connection at the same time. How do you do that? I don't know. How do you, have both the deep connection and the freedom that you desire as well? So looking into ways that can happen. And again, that's why you're an Aquarius. You come up with great win-win innovative ideas. But I would say unexpected attractions are also very popular. You might get invited to a wedding, or your friends invite you for supper somewhere, or maybe to an entertainment thing like a play or a movie, and then you meet someone. So for single Aquarians, this is really good for if you are invited to something, you're likely to meet someone through that. Or if you start a hobby, or if you go to pottery class, or you go to archery, or I'm just making up stuff here, but you go to a thing, and that's where you could possibly meet the new love of your life, right? So there's that. It's unexpected attractions are possible here. The fifth house rules the heart and circulation. So the more joy you have in the fifth house, the more circulation happens, the more your heart is happy, and the more your body feels good. And that circulation happens when you have joy. All right. So keep having fun in the fun house, fifth house, Aquarius. But not only that, I want to say your nervous system, though, this month is highly sensitive in June. So you want to reduce overstimulation, watch out for too much screen time, right? The screen overload, and watch out for chaotic environments. You want a little bit more peace and quiet too in June as well. I think grounding is essential, and I ground through different ways. I walk barefoot in the grass every day. I have a grounding blanket on my bed. I use essential oils all the time. I have my diffuser. I spray it. It's constant essential oils all the time. That's just me, but I feel like it's a really great way to ground and get good vibes, helps my energy field. And Aquarius, you rule the aura, the energy field. So it's important to keep care of this electric field, right? In your aura and stuff like that too. So having joy is a very high frequency too. So the fifth house is helping us do that. So it's really exciting, can be very lucky, can be very romantic, and can be very fun. So enjoy that. Okay, Aquarius? Uranus is in Gemini. It just started, and that's for like 7 more years now. That's in our fifth house. So everything I said for June is pretty much a background theme for the next 7 or so years as Uranus is in Gemini. So that's exciting. That's a good place to be. I like it. Also, very, very good energy, the fifth house for entrepreneurship, having your own business, your sole proprietorship, that kind of vibe too. If any time there was a time to have a side gig, Aquarius, this would be the time. And for the next 7 years. Yes, and you can, write off things, which helps alleviate taxes and all sorts of goodness there as well. And also Aquarius, Saturn is your ancient ruler in traditional astrology. So of course I always look at what Saturn is doing for us. And so it's in your third house for, I don't know, a couple more years or something like that. And the third house for us is a lot about marketing and sales and busy with our communities, our brothers and sisters, our neighbors. So there's Saturn's trying to bring us good timing and structure and good foundations when it comes to those things. The third house is very much about learning and teaching too. Not surprised if the next 2 years, Aquarius, you're learning a skill or a few skills, I should say, and then that to improve your life in some way. And a lot of times in the third house, it's skills with the hands, learning how to change your own oil, learning how to do things so that you don't have to hire someone else and pay money for, right? And those life skills I find a lot in the third house too. But it could be that some of you are developing courses, if you're an internet, you're developing courses or things to teach or groups, things like that online could be going for you, Aquarius, as well. The third house can be quite busy. And I think in the next 2 years, there's a lot of attention on your neighbors, community, and your siblings, definitely as well. And for some, it could be news about your cousins, your uncles and aunties as well, the extended family stuff as well. Okay, Aquarius, so lots of people and fun energy this month of June. Let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand, which is available on my website, www.themoontree.org. If you're interested, this is our color booklet. All right. And I'll show you a little taste of what you get by, let's look at an Aquarius card. So here, the Power of 8 Chakra Lenormand. Lenormand has been chakrified. All right, Aquarius, let's see what's in store for us for June 2026. Look at this, a very Gemini card. Gemini season. The Crossroad. And this can be hard decisions. You may be seeking do I want to follow this path or that? And it can be quite difficult. I would say go with your heart, fifth house. Gemini is in the fifth house of fun, creativity, your passion, your joie de vivre, all the fun stuff in life, right? So go with what makes, you feel joy. And that's going to be the secret for you, Aquarius. I know, Aquarius, you're a lot in the mind. I mean, I'm an Aquarius, so I get you. We think a lot. And this season is also asking us not just to get data from up here, but to get data from in here, the heart, the gut, the feeling, the deeper intuitive feeling that you get, to make those decisions. So there's options for you, all sorts of options. You might be thinking, is it a good time to start my side business or my side gig? And I think it's always a good time to start a side gig, even if you want to keep your job. It's always good to have a little extra income. And when at one time, when it rises enough with income so that you feel comfortable to quit your job, then do that, right? That's up to you. But there is options for you there. I would just say choose the ones that make you feel good and make you feel happy. And so let's look at what I wrote in the number 22, Crossroad Options. 22 is a magic number or is a master number in numerology. It's the builders, the master builders. So this could be a time where you're thinking about building something very important in your life. There's decisions that are involved with this too. So this could be a difficult choice or like even a life crisis, but I would say not really. You're in the fifth house of creativity and fun. So let's not say it's a crisis. Let's just say it's thinking about multiple things. It's also talks about diversification. And so it's a good way to diversify your income. You know, I have 3 different side gigs or 4. And I love them all. So, you know, and my life is full of joy. Like I get to do what I want when I want to. And that's important as an Aquarius, isn't it? So, you know, there's choices there for you. This is the root chakra and the heart chakra and the third eye chakra as well. So there's a bunch of things involved here, but I would say to ground yourself a little bit with this card with black tourmaline or smoky quartz. That's very good. And then you could use the moonstone, just like the one I have on this finger, this moonstone with beautiful feldspar. Look at that. Oh, I love the feldspar. Get yourself a moonstone too with that to help intuitively make the decisions and get the data from your intuition as well, like we talked about, not just up here. Because both Gemini and Aquarius are air signs and like to think, and there's a lot of data, but don't forget this data and don't forget your gut data, right? And it is, the fifth house is a lot about kids. So it's like, how did you used to make decisions when you were a kid, Aquarius? It was much easier. Yeah, I want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Now, frankincense and lavender and petit grain, black spruce, those 4 essential oils could be used. This can help you. And this is an air element card too. So we talked about Gemini season being air, Aquarius is an air sign, and now this card is an air sign. So yeah, there's a lot of data flowing up here and a lot of, no wonder it can be confusing to make the right decision or the right choice. But Uranus rules this card for a new opportunity. And remember, Uranus is in Gemini, hitting your 5th house. New opportunity and something you love to do. Could be a side gig, could be a new creative project that you've been really thinking about but never really got started. Or perhaps you're finally finishing the project that you started years ago. And that's exciting. And this is ruling the arteries as well, just in case you're wondering. And it's also the Queen of Diamonds. And in playing cards, the Queen of Diamonds is a lot about the Queen of Money. It could be like the Queen of Coins or the Queen of Pentacles in Tarot, right? The Queen of Abundance. So there's option. This could also be diversification of your portfolio with the 5th house as well, and the crossroads. So it's time to diversify. However, I would look at some stable assets that are tangible, like precious metals, things you can hold in your hand for real. You know, one of these guys I was watching, he's a feng shui guy and he does astrology and all sorts of things. I really like watching him, but he was talking about everybody should have, for the upcoming crash, 20 ounces of silver. I think he said 20 for each person. And that'll be good if, in case all the money crashes and you know, all your RSPs die and float away, and who knows what they're going to do with the new digital currency coming, CBDC. I mean, when you have real things like real food, real tangible assets to barter and trade, and some silver in case money doesn't work, or in case you know, because time after time, year after year, gold and silver have always stood the course, their actual value. And even before there was gold or silver, there was just services and products that we traded and bartered. So it's a lot about bringing back the bartering system too, you know. I like to be a little bit, I'm not a super big prepper, but like ultra prepper, but I definitely prep a little bit, because you just never know what could happen. I mean, there's been times, now I hold cash too, or in different places, all sorts of different places, real money right now, while we still can have currency, because there's been times where the credit card machine don't work, the debit banks are closed, or the power goes out all across town and we can't use anything. The only thing we can use is cash and stuff like that. Like, that's happened already. I mean, just little times, but just enough to make you think, wow, this money in the bank sure is not stable. We should do something about that and diversify to other things. Okay, Aquarius, that's my message for today. Come see me for a reading. All right, Pisces rising, those with their moons in Pisces. Well, Gemini season until June 21st is activating your fourth house of the inner you, the inner emotions, the deep self. Not only that, a lot about your parents. You're going to get, if your parents are still with us, lots of information about your home, family, parents, ancestors, things like that. And also real estate stuff too. I could see buying or selling property, buying or selling real estate, maybe beautifying the property you already own, or making a B&B or Airbnb or all that kind of stuff when it comes to housing, mortgages, money, real estate stuff. That's a big thing, but it's also just a lot about what are you feeling for your life internally. The fourth house sort of activates, what does my heart want here? What am I really feeling that'll bring me joy in this life? So you're going through some changes there. Has a lot to do with career. There's a full moon on May 31st in Sagittarius, and that kind of jumpstarts June with that full moon, right? May 31st in your 10th house of career, fame, recognition. There could be some career changes for some of you Pisceans, okay? Changing positions or having conversations or new awakenings or new illuminated enlightenment about something to do in your career space, your business space, that kind of vibe as well. For some of you, you could be moving to a new location due to work, or you're trying to work on the work-life balance. Maybe you feel like you don't like your schedule, you don't like your work-life balance, there's something that needs to change there or improve in some way as well. And for some of you, it could just mean, if you work in the education system, June is like the last month of school. So you're starting to really think about, oh, summer's coming, home life, you don't have to go to work for 2 months. Woohoo! There's that too for some of you in the education system. Now, I like to see what Jupiter's doing, because Jupiter's been in Cancer and is only in Cancer till the end of June. Jupiter loves being in Cancer, so it's kind of sad to say goodbye. So enjoy this last month of Jupiter in Cancer in your fifth house of the fun. Okay, you're ruled by Jupiter, so you always want to see what Jupiter's doing. You're ruled by Jupiter, so there's a lot of attention in the fifth house for you. That last hurrah of fun, of kid-like energy, your creativity, being creative. So use June to get all the last drops of goodness of Jupiter in Cancer there, because it's a nice time for nurturing and home life. Lots about the home life for you in June. Beautifying, working on your property. Could be fixing things in your property. It could be buying or selling real estate, or it could be just like you really like being at home. The home is your sanctuary, and that's where you're feeling most comfortable and most creative, and you just have a family feeling. You just like being home. There's that too. Neptune is your modern planet in astrology, so Neptune, and that's in your second house of money. So I don't know, I'm seeing a little bit of like, does this job suit me? Do I like it? What can I do? And things like that. You might be looking at ways to make your property be less of a liability and more of an asset, like making it into a B&B or Airbnb, or renting space out, or hosting pets sitting in your home, or childcare in your home, or anything like that to make money off your house. There's that. But also, I think that you might be spending money this month too in June for certain beautification processes, renovations, or repair in the house as well. All right. Well, what did I miss? Oh, yes. Your intuition, Pisces, is very strong this month in June, but it's always really strong. Pisces, you're one of the most intuitive of the zodiac, but I guess this month you're a little more intuitive because of that fourth house activation, which is very internal, very intuitive in the heart, right? Could be lots about spiritual businesses, healing work, maybe doing readings out of your house, right? Actually, it's funny, Pisces, I just bought a new canopy tent to do readings, because I'm always being asked to do events and collaborations. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a tent for this. And I set it up the other day to practice, and it was really great. I love it. So healing work and being creative, and can be about art and emotional storytelling for you. We want to look at your numbers though, honestly, and avoid escapism when it comes to money. Okay, look at your numbers honestly. That'll be helpful. I think that's for some of you too, Pisces. You'll be finding like soulmate connections when it comes to love and relationships for some of you, or maybe it's just emotional healing in some way, or maybe there's a deep creative connection with someone. It feels deep in the fourth house. There's always deeper stuff going on there. We just want to maintain boundaries, healthy boundaries too. And I wanted to talk about your wellness. And so the digestion, the stomach, and the chest in the fourth house are being activated. So breast area, chest, and then the stomach and digestion issues. What's going in your mouth? Is it feeding your soul? Is it feeding your body? Because if it's not, it's going to come out as indigestion and problems in the stomach. So I think that you as a water sign, Pisces, in this dry Gemini, Aries, it's drying up your water. Okay, Gemini is an air sign, so it's like the wind, and your Pisces, the water, the fish. So it's like dry, it can dry you out, especially more now. So watch for that, hydration, and watch for rest. You need your rest and emotional release. Fourth house wants to release some emotion. It's okay to cry. Just the tears are water too, though. So make sure you're hydrated. Eat lots of fruit too, like watermelon and high water content fruit can be very helpful because, or coconut water can be very good for you. And also, spiritual protection, Pisces. And so before I go out into the big world, I zip up my protective, mine's like rainbow, sort of rainbow bubble with gold sparkles, but you do whatever feels good to you. But I zip it all the way up to the top. And then I go out to the real world as sort of a protection field, and you want to protect your peace this month. Okay, Pisces? Now, let's pull a card from our deck, the Power of 8, Chakra Lenormand. Lenormand's been sacrificed. These are available on my website, www.themoontree.org, if you're interested. This is the color booklet, and these are the cards. All right, so let's see for you, Pisces, what's in store for June. All right, Pisces in June 2026. Look, the dog. So this could be literally about your dog at home, fourth house. It could be that you are enjoying more time with your pets too, but this is a lot about having loyalty in your life and friendships. It can be, in some cases, it could be a professional that helps you as well. Let's see what I wrote for the dog card. Number 18, the dog, loyal friend. Get the dog, a trusted comrade, a professional advisor or consultant, for example, a doctor, a vet, or a lawyer. It could be a literal dog, like maybe you're using your fourth house of real estate, of home and family, to do dog sitting in your home or dog walking or something like that as well. It's the vibe of having faithfulness and loyalty in your life. You know, having dependable people to count on, or feeling like you do, or it could be a soulmate for some of you. And I told you that some of you guys might have some romance here, especially, I forgot to tell you, Mercury, the messenger, talking, learning planet, he's kind of the messenger. He's going to be in Cancer on June 1st for the month. And so that's a lot about your fifth house of romance too, and fun and creativity. So there's lots of goodness there with Mercury helping you think about good people, good fun, good loyalty, and like that. So that looks good. I mean, maybe some of you are having puppies. Okay, this is really, really descriptive, but it could be something with a new pet or puppies, or for some of you, it could be pregnancy, or you hear of someone getting pregnant in your family. So that could be interesting. Or maybe you're already a grandparent. Well, your son or daughter's like, Mom or Dad, we're pregnant again. You're going to be a grandparent again. That could be too. You never know. But it's lots about the family and real estate and home here for you. And then the dog is all about the loyalty, the faithfulness, the friendship, the camaraderie, that kind of vibe too. So very interesting. I would use Paradox or Green Aventurine this month for you. And also, rose quartz might be a good one too to go with the fourth house home vibe. So some rose quartz mixed with some peridot, green peridot. Yeah, that's a good combo for you. And then add some nutmeg, some sandalwood, or some jasmine or lavender as essential oils. And you know me, I'm a big essential oil lover. I probably have those 4 in this one. I make my own blends, but I never know what they're going to smell like because I just put like 4 or 5 that I think smell good together in a 3-6-9 sort of ratio, right? You know, Tesla's 3-6-9. Anyway, that's for another day. Okay, so this dog card is ruled by Venus for love, but also by Saturn, which is the authority and the loyalty too. Okay. And this is also the 10 of hearts, which could be the 10 of cups in Tarot. So look those up. 10 of cups in Tarot. The 10 of cups is always such a nice card of family, 4th house, home and family, and love, and just all the good things in life when it comes to emotions, and relationships are a big thing. So the dog's in there too. Happy family. Your affirmation for the dog is, I am supported and I am enough. So thank you, Pisces, for watching, and I hope to see you around. Come see me for a reading. All right, in closing, June 2026 feels like, yes, some timeline shifts, nervous system upgrades. This is not about forcing. This is about adaptability. Gemini loves to be adaptable and versatile. Diversification, right? Diversify. Think outside of the box, think of alternatives. I want to say too, sometimes we're like, should I choose A or B? But we forgot that there's actually a C, which is better than A or B, right? So there's some emotional intelligence too in June for all of us, and strategic intuition, following your gut with strategy and data from up here. And how do we amalgamate those two? Okay, so if this resonated with you, subscribe, share this with others, and don't forget to join us every week on Soulpreneur Sundays, live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. And if you'd like a personal reading or intuitive guidance, come visit me at www.themoontree.org. I'll see you in the next one.